Hello everyone and welcome to F1 2020. My team and we're at the Chinese Grand Prix. If you're new to the channel, please leave a like and subscribe for some more daily F1 videos and other videos on my channel.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. The ever-tightening turns 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here at Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of Turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Albon, Ricciardo, Stroll, Perez and Thomas, Kvyat, Ocon, Pierre Gasly and Grosjean, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Carlos Sainz. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Antonio Giovinazzi, Norris, Schumacher, Latifi and George Russell ends our grid lineup. It's almost time for those 5
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So it's lights out and it's off we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. A very wet and very wet start. Of course we have to be very careful on the lap P-time and trying to get all the way down. It's still a bit wet and dangerous here. The first opening few corners. Kvyat as well, getting a bit too bumpy there. Like I said, you're new to the channel, like and subscribe for daily F1 videos. We are halfway through the F1 season. Really, we're at 4 rounds already.
Position on lap 1, that's not great, but it's not terrible. Stay focused.
So I have to stay well focused now. We're on lap 1 out of 14, halfway to go. Well, not halfway to go, sorry, on the first lap. We're going around the first corner very gingerly because of the wet weather. wanted to see what was happening in the replay cameras up ahead. So like I said, using the replay cameras to have a look around, it is a bit wet with all the rain, so I couldn't really see what was going on. Two Force Indias are up ahead of Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll. It's on lap 2 out of 14, trying to find a way past Sergio. Almost hitting the rear end of him there. If you're on YouTube, this channel, like and subscribe for daily videos. Here we go then, trying to find a way past Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll has the fastest lap of the race so far, getting slightly wider now. Lap 4 now. Lap 3, sorry, out of 14. On the first, like around the first bend, these three tight-hand corners of the Chinese Grand Prix are very tight. Of course, we've got Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez up ahead in the Ferraris. Sorry, in the Force Indias. Lap 3 out of 14 here on the Chinese Grand Prix, because it's one of the longest, second longest straights on the F1 calendar, I think, trying to get past the two Force Indias of Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll.
Okay, the weather's certainly eased off for the time being, but we've still got a lot of standing water out there. We're happy for you to stay out on the Inters for now.
So they're happy for us to stay on the Inters. We could change to dries, because usually these Chinese Grand Prix weather conditions change quite dramatically over the course of the race. If you're new to my channel, or if you're new to Formula 1 videos in general, like and subscribe for daily F1 videos. I've got my driver uploaded, the first episode. I'll leave a link in the description on this video where you can watch that. A slow start to the year for my channel. Of course, trying to upload videos as daily as I can. Obviously, it's a bit slow.
It looks like we'll be running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly.
So we'll be running back to dry soon. So it looks like we'll be switching from inters to dries. we've been braking hard in these first couple of corners, doing our best as Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll in the Force Indias.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
Trying to manage our
increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
Our ERS deployment mode, so we have to be very strategic about it. Can't seem to get my words out today. Here we go then, lap 5 out of 14. Here at the Chinese Grand Prix, the weather is still a bit of a mix going on. Like I said, like I said before, like and subscribe for daily videos on my channel. Try and upload as much more as I can, but try to find a way past Perez and, of course, Stroll. Was the main battle here.
We're catching the car ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race.
So we're catching the car, the tyres need to last till the end of this race. 6 out of 14, trying to chase down the 2 Force Indias. Mick Schumacher is still right behind the pack. I do remember playing this race a couple of days, I think a couple of weeks ago actually. So like I said, this is still one of my favourite games, race F1 games.
Engine is showing small signs of wear. Power output will be down.
Showing some signs of wear in the engine. Still trying to get past Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll.
The drivers we're fighting here are Perez and Kvyat.
So Perez and Kvyat are our 2 main rivals up ahead, and as we can see, it is a little bit cagey at the moment, the cars up ahead. So we have to fight to gain these points.
There's 9 laps of fuel remaining.
9 laps of fuel remaining, of course. Getting slightly a bit wider there than we need to. Up 7 out of 14, the 2 Force Indias are really pulling away now.
We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap.
Second a lap here. I like that if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. But this race is getting very interesting now. We have still not made any stops yet because of the rain. So the rain and the dry conditions could change everything.
Understood, stopping this lap.
So we're stopping this lap to change from inters to dries, I'm not entirely sure. But here we go, trying to get some clean air because of the blockade here.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
So a new strategy option is coming through as we're going to change from the inters to mediums. Which is to be expected because we need to. So lap 7 out of 14, braking harder into this long chicane here. So we got a DRS enabled now because of the interchangeable conditions.
Now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
DRS is now online. Here comes the 2 Force India-s. The pit stop window is now open for the cars to come in. Red Bull have come in. I think the Renaults and the 2 Force India-s are stacking by the looks of things. Here comes myself changing the tyres. Teammate is also in.
Mick is in the pits.
Mick Schumacher is in the pits, so we're on lap 8 out of 14.
No more scheduled pit stops. Exit.
So we're going to try and make these tyres last to the end of the Grand Prix. There's Lance Stroll up ahead. He's making very slow gains, getting around the outside of Stroll. We managed to get past Lance Stroll with ease. Like if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe for daily Formula 1 videos and other videos on my channel. We're going to try and get past Ricardo and Albon up ahead. So I'm up 8 now out of 14. Everybody's making their pit stops now because the weather conditions have changed and we are back into the dry weather conditions. Everything is looking interesting. Got the DRS back open and we got the energy connector as well. So now we can have a look at what's going on up around the paddock. Up and down the race, sorry. So we're on lap 9, out of 14, halfway to go. Still a long way, still halfway to go in this race. And look at that, already Albon and Leclerc are already up and out, already fighting. Bit of DRS might come into play if we use the Kerr's deployment system, right, breaking out these first 2 corners. Leclerc and Albon up ahead is all kicking off at the moment, and everybody's made their first single stops. After a long, grueling season on this game, compared to the other games I played on F1 series, breaking out in the first couple of corners, but remember, we're going to make these engine last, we're going to make the tyres last as well, and we're going to make all parts of the car last until the end of the year.
No need to worry about tyre condition for now, everything's looking good.
Need to worry about tyre conditions, so we're breaking on these first few corners. Fastest lap of the race, Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. No questions asked on that one.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
5 laps of fuel remaining in the car. We're on lap 10 out of 14.
reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control.
So lap 10, now out of 14. The conditions seem to be better.
Okay, gap ahead is 1.5 seconds.
1.5 seconds, lap 11 out of 14. Using a bit of the energy to try and chase down Albon and Leclerc. So lap 11 out of 14, like I said, halfway to go in this race. This Chinese Grand Prix, like I said, was cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We were going to have a full race, but unfortunately because of that we weren't going to. It's lap 11 out of 14. It is a long, grueling season ahead.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
3 laps of fuel remaining, not to mess with any of the settings on the engines or the car. Lap 11 out of 14. Here we go, braking hard into the first couple of corners, doing everything we can to get past them.
Teammate by 27.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in 20th. The time last lap was a 1:39.8.
So on lap 12, out of 14, still the Chinese Grand Prix is a bit of a neck breaker. You have to turn left and right, so many corners to get right as well.
The turbocharger is on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum.
So like I said, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe for daily content on my channel. I'm trying to upload videos daily if I can. Lap 12 out of 14, halfway to go then in this race, using a bit of the kinetic energy recovery system. Try and get past the car around lap 12 out of 14. Here comes one for the first 14 years of Stroll. Breaking out now in the first couple of corners, Stroll covering the inside. Bringing it to lap 12 now out of 14. Doing everything we can to get past. Lap 13, out of 14, halfway to go. I still think we could have Albon up ahead. You've got Albon up ahead and then we've got Cargo. So we're P.
Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
Oh no, who is that? I wonder, who is that gone? off our bit, so we're allowed to resume racing. This is a P8, but who's gone off?
Right, some information.
Oh, Ricciardo.
They've got a serious car
Daniel
issue.
Ricciardo has just retired from the race. Wow, that is incredible, to say the least. Daniel Ricciardo has just retired,
Okay, clear.
and that's changed the midfield race. Midfield.
Our gap to the car in front is
Incredibly
4.6 seconds.
So lap 13 out of 14, but a long way to go. One more lap to go, sorry.
This is your final lap of the race. There's only one lap of fuel remaining.
So, lap 14, out of 14, not long to go to the end. The engine is looking quite worn as well, so we have to be very careful on the engine. Turning the wheels slightly. Stroll is also trying to find a way through, breaking out in these first few corners. Now this is a battle between me and Stroll. Can I hold off Stroll just so lightly? Lap 14 out of 14. It's still a long turning here. Race winner Valtteri Bottas, no surprises, and the Mercedes car is very quick, of course. So we brake hard again into the long chicane. But can I hold up on Stroll like I do? This is going to be a very tight, twisty end to the race. Lap 14 out of 14. Checker flag is out, crossing the line. And that is brilliant.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Starts.
It's victory in Shanghai then, and what a victory it is after an incredible Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's see how the driver standings have changed. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Thomas. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
Let's move on to the constructors.
Yep, so the Constructors' Championship is still not on the agenda for Season 1. Season 1 is just trying to gain the most points.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy.
Well, it wasn't too easy. It was a
lot of positions
long...
in the race, didn't you?
Yeah, we pushed on. We had a great race. Keep the head down. Keep moving forward.
The team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
It's not just me, it's a team effort. It's a whole team
How
effort.
do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
It was difficult to say the least because I'm not a good wet weather driver like most F1 drivers are. You have to be strong in the wet and in the dry because they change all the time. But I'm not complaining on that. So, rivalry. Daniel Kivat 4-2 up. The Acclaim as well. Cash 62. Getting some money into the bank. That's more important as well in this game. Because you have to get the money to upgrade.
As we continue to increase our acclaim, more potential partners become willing to work with us.
So, it's time to have a look at the activities. So click on the activity center, which is what I'm doing. Aerodynamics, we haven't got enough money for that. Looking at the money secondary sponsor screen at the moment, it's still got no. We can sign. Oh, we can sign that. So how that was doing, I was signing another sponsor. So that's what we got. We got that. And of course, the driver market. Don't have enough to sign for a new driver yet. I'm not planning to do that until season 2. Looking at the car now. Quite interesting to see what we've got. So that's, we can have lots of sponsors on the cars, but they don't really say on the car that much. Looking at the liveries, at what we could have, and of course the Spanish Grand Prix is coming up, so I might change livery for that. So if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe for daily videos. We're now going over to the interview with Will Buxton to see what he has to say about the team and the car.
Well, it's great to be back at your headquarters, and I've got to say, an awful lot's changed since we were last here. Let's dive in with some questions.
Go ahead, let's see what we
Let's
can.
talk about your new second driver. How are they settling in?
I think he's doing alright. He just needs to pull his weight and score points. So I'm going to try and develop him a bit more.
Points fairly consistently. Do you think you'll be able to become a challenge to the top teams in the future?
In the future, yes. Right now, we're just trying to score points and try and
Do you see your relationship
develop the
with
car.
second driver being long-term, or will you be looking for someone else if you're successful?
Obviously, not long-term for Mick, but if he doesn't pull his weight, then somebody's going to have to come in.
Your predictions for your team going into this season?
Just scoring points, regular points, getting into the top 10 if we
Will you
can.
be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points?
Just the points for now, because obviously we're not going to beat Mercedes or Ferrari.
Well,
That
thanks a lot
is
for
our
inviting
main
us here. It's been
objective, is scoring points and trying to get into the top 10 as best we can, because we can't just get into the top 10 so easily. And like I said, it's a long, grueling season. So looking at the car development system, so I looked at the engine. I thought it could develop the engine because the car needs to be fast, and also the chassis is not too bad. The next race is in Zandvoort at the Netherlands, which of course we didn't actually get to go to in the real life Grand Prix because that was cancelled due to COVID. But hopefully we get to do that in the real episode next. So see you all in the next one.